Note before we start this episode. Due to the heavy and serious theme of this episode, and for respect to the children that are or were victims of these terrorist gangs on the internet, we have not included silly songs or funny commercials. Thank you. Hello, cyber citizens. I'm Dr. Sergio Sanchez, Dr. Cubit, and today we're going to talk about something that makes your average drug cartel looks like the Boy Scouts. Imagine you are walking through Central Park on a peaceful Sunday afternoon. Suddenly, you see a group of teenagers hanging out by a bench. They look normal enough, right? But instead of selling candy bars for their school fundraiser or washing cars, they are recruiting for something far darker. They are like Jehovah Witness, except instead of waiting to save your soul, they want to completely destroy it. That's the internet in 2026, my dear netizens. Except the bench is Discord, Telegram, or 4chan, and those kids aren't in Central Park. They are in a basement in Wisconsin, Tijuana, or Moscow. Today, we're going to dive carefully and with industrial-grade latex gloves into the world of the most dangerous groups on internet. And I'm not talking about anti-vaxxers or flat earthers. I'm talking about digital criminal organizations that do things so disturbing I won't even mention them in this opening. Ready? Perfect. Because after this episode, you are going to want to check your kids' phones with the same frequency you check if you locked your front door. Welcome to Behind the Digital Curtain, the podcast where technology speaks human. I am Dr. Sergio Sanchez, aka Dr. Cubit, your guide to understanding what's going on with artificial intelligence, digital dangers, how to navigate this crazy world of digital lies and scams that's seen straight out of science fiction movies. I will tell you how to protect yourself even if you don't like technology. And well, let's start with the show. Welcome to Behind the Digital Curtain. What are these groups? Alright, let's start at the beginning. What exactly is a dangerous internet group? I'm not talking about your family WhatsApp chat where your aunt shares memes with motivational quotes. I'm also not talking about those Facebook groups where people talk about whether a pineapple belongs on pizza, although those can get violent too. I'm talking about organized communities, structured with hierarchies and clear objectives to cause real harm, psychological harm, physical harm, and in many cases, permanent harm. According to a 2025 report from the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, this group have grown by 340% since 2020. To put that in perspective, that's faster than inflation growth in Argentina. and that's saying something. And here are the names that should scare you. 764, also known as ZVLT, cult but spelled with V instead of U. The Harm Nation. The Child-Oriented Material Networks, or COM, C-O-M. MK Ultra, not the CIA project, but a modern extortion network. Cultist group on Discord and Telegram. And here's what truly chilling. These groups operate on what's called the clear web, that is, the regular internet. They don't need to have any deep web or dark web presence. They are on the same platforms where you watch cat videos and find recipes for key lime pie. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in the United States, in 2024 alone, they received over 36 million reports related to online child exploitation. 36 million. That's more than the entire population of California. What do these groups do? Brace yourselves because this is tough. 1. Sextortion and extortion. They manipulate minors into sending explicit material, then blackmail them with publishing it. 2. Forced self-harm. They convince victims, usually children, to hurt themselves and document it via videos. Number 3. Swatting. They make false calls to police, so SWAT teams attack their victims' homes. In 2017, a man named Andrew Finch died in Kansas when a swatter named Tyler Barris made a false call. Barris is currently serving 20 years in prison. Number 4. Doxing. They publish their victims' personal information, addresses, phone numbers, workplaces. Number 5. Recruiting minors for criminal activities. They turn them into distributors of illegal material or attackers of others. The U.S. Department of Justice reported in March 2024 that the group 764 specifically has been linked to at least 12 deaths of minors in the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand between 2022 and 2024. 12 real deaths. And here's the part that makes me want to throw my computer out of the window. The average age of members of these groups is 15 years old. They are children attacking other children. It's as if the Lord of the Flies has been rewritten for the digital age, but without the literal symbolism and with much more real psychological trauma. How do they operate? This group are like 7-Eleven franchises, but evil. They have a hierarchical structure, leaders, moderators, active members, and newbies who has to prove their loyalty. They have initiation rituals. To get in, you have to do something horrible. The more horrible, the more status you gain. They have point systems, like AMC theaters, but instead of points for free popcorn, you earn points for ruining lives. And also they have propaganda and memes. They use extreme dark humor and edgelord aesthetics to normalize violence. According to researchers from Stanford University who study online extremists, these groups use the same recruitment tactics as ISIS and Al-Qaeda, but adapted for Generation Z. Now comes the part where I'm going to tell you about real cases. And I need to warn you, this is not for the faint of heart. Case number 1. 764. The group 764, also known as CVLT, is probably the most notorious and dangerous of all. It's originated around 2020 and operates primarily on Discord and Telegram. On February 2024, the FBI arrested Bradley Candenhead, a 34-year-old man from California, accused of being one of the main administrators of the group 764. According to the federal indictment, Candenhead distributed thousands of images and videos of child abuse and coordinated sextortion attacks against more than 100 minor victims. But here's the truly terrifying part. Many of the executors of these attacks were themselves minors. They recruit children aged 12 to 16, psychologically manipulate them, and turn them into perpetrators. In the United Kingdom, in 2023, a 14-year-old girl commits suicide after being a victim of sextortion by members of 764. The attackers had convinced her to send photos, you know what kind of photos, then threatened her with publishing them if she didn't self-harm and send videos of it. When she refused, they published her personal information, her address and her parents' addresses. British police arrested 3 teenagers linked to the case. The oldest was 16 years old. Case 2. The Harm Nation. This group operated primarily between 2021 and 2023 on various platforms. The name says it all. Their explicit goal was to cause harm. According to court documents from 2023 Texas case, members of the Harm Nation were responsible for coordinating more than 200 swatting incidents across the United States and Canada. In one of those incidents, in May 2023, a SWAT team burst into a family's home in Ohio because they received a false call reporting a shooting in progress. The swatting victim, a 17-year-old Twitch streamer who had won a video game tournament. The attacker, a 15-year-old boy from Florida, was arrested and faced federal charges. During his interrogation, he revealed that he has participated in the swatting to earn points in the group and rank up. Case 3. The COM network on Telegram. In October 2024, the Brazilian Federal Police, in coordination with Interpol, dismantled one of the largest child abuse material distribution network on Telegram. The operation, called Operação Luz da Ninfância, resulted in 133 arrests in 23 Brazilian states. According to the official statement, the network has more than 50,000 active members and had been operating for 3 years. They use encryption algorithms and obfuscation techniques to avoid detection. The most disturbing part, 40% of those arrested were under 21 years old. The youngest was 13 years old. Case 4. The German Elysium case. In 2017, German police dismantled Elysium, one of the largest dark web forums dedicated to child abuse. It had 87,000 registered users. But here is the detail. Elysium didn't start on the dark web. It started as a private group on Discord in 2015. Only when it grew too large and started attracting attention, they migrate to the dark web. The founder, a 39-year-old man identified only as Patrick S., committed suicide in his cell before trial. But authorities managed to arrest 22 administrators and moderators in 7 different countries. Case number 5. The United States is not exempt. And before you think that only happens in other countries, let me tell you about the Michigan case from 2023. The Michigan Attorney General's office arrested a group of 7 people, including 2 minors, linked to a sextortion network operating primarily on Facebook and Instagram. They had victimized more than 300 people, mostly young women between 14 and 22 years old, across Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana. Their modus operandi? They create fake profiles of attractive guys, initiated romantic conversations, and eventually ask for intimate photos. And then extort the victims for money. If they didn't pay, they publish the photos in Facebook groups with the victim's real name. They earn approximately $85,000 in 1 year. And that's more than an elementary school teacher earned in 3 years. According to data from the FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center, cybercrimes in the United States increased by 130% between 2020 and 2024. An organized group represents 35% of those crimes. What all these cases have in common? They operate on public platforms like Discord, Telegram, Facebook, Instagram. Also in games like Roblox and Minecraft. They don't need the dark web. They recruit minors. They manipulate them to turn them into victims and into perpetrators. They use gamification, points, ranks, challenge, like a video game, but with real and devastating consequences. They operate internationally. A leader is in the United States, moderators in Europe, and executors in Latin America. They are difficult to dismantle. When one group falls, 3 more take its place. It's like playing whack-a-mole at Dave & Buster's, except the moles are digital psychopaths and the mullet is international law, which is painfully slow. Why do these groups work? Now comes the question we are all asking ourselves. How the hell is possible that this group exists and thrive? The answer is not easy. So let's break it down. Reason 1. Anonymity and pseudo-anonymity. The internet allows people to hide their real identity. You can be a boring 45-year-old accountant from Texas during the day and Dark Destroyer XX at night. According to a 2023 study published by the Journal of Cybersecurity and Privacy from the Oxford University, anonymity reduced moral inhibition by 67%. It's like the mask effect, like a Halloween party, but permanent and without candy. Reason 2. Algorithms that recommend extreme content. Social media platforms use algorithms that maximize engagement. That is, they keep you glued to the screen. And what generates more engagement? Extreme and controversial content. A 2021 Wall Street Journal report revealed that Facebook, now Meta, own internal documents show that their algorithms recommend extremist content because it generates more clicks and more time on the platform. It's as if you went to a buffet and the waiter, instead of recommending the salad, told you,
"You know what? Better eat 47 buffalo wings and wash them down with Long Island iced tea."
That way you spend more money. Reason 3. Lack of effective moderation. Discord has approximately 200 million monthly active users. Telegram has more than 900 million. The number of human moderators these platforms have is insufficient, very insufficient. According to Bloomberg reports from 2024, Discord employs approximately 600 content moderators to review reports worldwide. That's one moderator for every 333,000 users. To put that in perspective, it's like having a single police officer for all Los Angeles County and expecting that that officer can prevent all crimes in real time without sleeping. Reason 4. Fragmented international jurisdiction. Here is the one big problem. Crime is global, but law is local. A group can have a leader in Russia, its moderator in the United States, its servers in the Cayman Islands, and its victims in Brazil. Who has jurisdiction? Who can arrest who? What laws apply? It's a legal mess. It's like trying to arrest someone who simultaneously is in 4 different countries, and in each one of them, they are violating different laws, and no country can agree on who should prosecute them. According to Interpol, the average time to coordinate an international operation against cybercriminals is between 18 to 20 months. In that time, this group can recruit thousands of new members and victimize tens of thousands of people. Reason 5. Group psychology and gradual radicalization. This group don't recruit by telling you,
"Hello, join our criminal organization where we psychologically torture minors."
No, they start with edgy humor, offensive memes, toxic irony. They gradually normalize more extreme behaviors. It's like putting a frog in cold water and slowly rising the temperature. By the time you realize you are in boiling water, you are already cooked. In 2024, a study from the University of Southern California on online radicalization found that the average radicalization process takes between 6 and 18 months of constant exposure, and the most vulnerable are teenagers between 13 and 17 years old who feel socially isolated, have family problems, seek a sense of belonging, want to feel special or superior. That is basically all teenagers on planet Earth. Reason 6. Gamifications of violence. This group turned cruelty into a game. Points, levels, achievements. It's like playing Xbox, but for psychopaths.
Unlock first successful swatting, 500 points. Achievement obtained, you dogs 10 people. Rank upgraded to moderator.
It sounds ridiculous when I say it that way, right? But works, and works terribly well. According to behavioral psychologists from the University of Cambridge, who study gamification and antisocial behavior, gamification can make even morally normal people commit acts they will never do in a non-gamified context. It's the same principle that makes normal, decent people to go savage on Black Friday for a TV with a 30% off. Except instead of trampling people for an electronic device, you are ruining lives for imaginary points. Reason 7. Systemic failure of digital education. And here we arrive to the uncomfortable truth. As a society, we have completely failed to educate our children about digital safety and ethical online behavior. We give them $800 smartphones with unlimited access to all human knowledge and all human depravity too, and assume they will somehow know how to navigate that world without preparation. It's like giving someone the keys of a Ferrari who never driven before and telling them, "Good luck, don't crash." According to OECD data from 2023, only 34% of schools in the United States have formal digital literacy programs that include online safety and ethical behavior. Better than most countries, but still pathetic. The perfect combination of factors. So when we combine anonymity, algorithms that amplify string content, insufficient moderation, international legal loopholes, manipulative psychology, gamification of harmful behaviors, and lack of digital education, you get the perfect storm, a digital ecosystem where predators thrive and victims abound. It's like having built the perfect highway for criminals, with signals that says, "This way for easy victims," without police patrols, and where every country denies its responsibility to fix the problem. Welcome to the Internet in 2026. That song reflects a reality. Platforms talk a lot about safety, but invest little in making it real. It's all security theater, like the announcement on the subway station that says, "Watch your belongings, but don't put enough police officers." So, what the authorities are doing? Well, so far everything has been pretty depressing, but it's not all bad news. Some authorities and organizations are taking action. Government initiatives. Here in the United States, in 2023, the FBI established a Violent Crimes Against Children Task Force, especially focused in online extremist groups. They made more than 200 arrests linked to these groups since then. The Department of Justice also launched a Project Safe Childhood 2.0 in 2024, which coordinates federal, state, and local agencies to pursue these crimes. And here comes an interesting fact. In March 2024, the FBI arrested 18 people in 12 states in a coordinated operation against 764-type groups administrators. They use undercover investigation techniques, basically agents posing as members. The FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center, IC3, received over 880,000 complaints in 2023, with reported losses exceeding $12.5 billion. A significant portion involved crimes against children. The Federal Trade Commission, FTC. The FTC has been aggressive in fining platforms that fail to protect minors. In 2024, they fined a major social media platform $275 million for failing to implement adequate child safety measures as promised. State-level actions. California, New York, and Texas have been particularly aggressive. California Age-Appropriate Design Code, implemented in 2024, requires platforms to prioritize children's safety by default. New York's Safe for Kids Act in 2024 required parental consent for algorithmic feeds for users under 18 years old. The Texas Securing Children Online Through Parental Empowerment, SCOPE or SCOPE, require age verification and parental controls. Europe. Europol has the European Cybercrime Center, EC3, which coordinates operations between member countries. In 2024, they execute Operation Black Wrist, which result in 89 arrests in 14 European countries linked to extortion networks. Germany, specifically, has been very aggressive. The Bundeskriminalamt, or the Federal Criminal Police Office, has an entire department dedicated to crimes against minors online, with more than 300 investigators. The United Kingdom. The National Crime Agency has the Child Exploitation and Online Protection Command, CEOP, which not only investigates but also educates. They developed mandatory school programs on online safety that they have reached more than 2 million children since 2022. The UK Online Safety Act of 2023 is one of the most comprehensive pieces of legislation globally, requiring platforms to proactively prevent harm to children or face fines up to £18 million, approximately $23 million, or 10% of global annual revenue, whichever is higher. Australia. The Australian Federal Police operates the Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation, ACCCE, which in 2023 identified and rescued 134 children who were being actively victimized by these groups. Canada. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, has the National Child Exploitation Crime Center, which works internationally to identify victims and perpetrators. In 2023, they helped identify over 400 victims globally through image recognition technology. International coordination. Interpol has the International Child Sexual Exploitation Database, containing over 3 million images and videos. Using AI and image recognition, they identified more than 30,000 victims since 2019. The Five Eyes Alliance, USA, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, has been particularly effective at coordinating operation across borders. Multiple major busts have resulted from this operation. Actions by platforms. After years of public and regulatory pressure, platforms are finally doing something. Discord, in 2024, hired 200 additional moderators, implemented AI systems to detect abuse content, and create a more robust age verification system. They also launched the Discord Safety Center with educational resources for parents and teenagers. They implemented Automoth, which can automatically flag and remove content based on custom rules set by server administrators. But, and this is a big but, Discord still allowed private invite-only servers, which is exactly where this group operate. Telegram. Telegram has been notoriously resistant to cooperating with authorities, citing privacy and freedom of expression. But in 2024, after the European Union threatened to block them completely, they finally agreed to implement some measures. Respond to valid court orders, something they previously refused to do, implemented illegal content reporting, and allowed investigations under specific conditions. However, Telegram still maintained that they cannot read encrypted messages, limiting their ability to proactively detect abuse. Meta, which used to be Facebook or Instagram, implemented Nightingale, an AI system designed specifically to detect grooming and sextortion patterns. According to the reports, it has been prevented more than 500,000 potentially harmful interactions since its launch in 2023. They also expanded their safety advisory board to include child protection experts from around the world. Meta announced in 2024 that they will invest $5 billion over the 5 years in safety infrastructure, including 40,000 people working on safety and security. TikTok implemented restricted age verification in 2024, including ID verification for users who want to access certain features. They also limit DMs, direct messages, for users under 16 to people they follow, and disable DMs entirely for users under 13. The For You algorithm now has content restriction for teenager users, limiting exposure to potentially harmful content. Apple and Google, both app stores, implemented restricted requirements for apps targeting children in 2024, require privacy nutrition labels, mandatory age-appropriate design principles, prohibition of third-party advertising in children's app, and enhanced parental controls. Non-governmental organizations. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or NCMEC, operates the Cyber Tip Line, which has received more than 150 million reports since its creation. In 2023 alone, they received 36.2 million reports. NCMEC works directly with law enforcement, providing technical assistance and victim identification services. They help rescue thousands of children. The Internet Watch Foundation, IWF, based in the UK, works to remove child abuse material from the Internet. In 2023, they removed more than 275,000 websites with that content. They also maintain a hash database that helps platforms automatically detect and block known abuse material. Thorn, founded by actors Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore, Thorn developed technology to defend children from sexual abuse. Their safer tool has been used by platforms to identify millions of instances of child sexual abuse material. The Canadian Centre for Child Protection operates cybertip.ca and has developed image recognition technology that helps identify victims and block illegal content. They analyze over 12 million images and help identify thousands of victims. The Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, or RAIN, operates the National Sexual Assault Hotline and provides resources for victims. They expand their services to specifically address online abuse and sextortion. New legislation in the United States, the Earn It Act, Eliminating Abuse and Rampant Neglect of Interactive Technologies Act, passed in 2023, holds platforms accountable for abuse content they don't remove promptly. The Kids Online Safety Act, or KOSA, passed in 2024 and requires platforms to provide minors with safeguards for mental health disorders, prevent promotion of self-harm, suicide, eating disorders, prohibit target advertising to minors, and default to highest privacy settings for minors. The European Union, the Digital Services Act, fully implemented in 2024, requires large platforms to have proactive systems for detecting and removing illegal content, including child abuse. Fines for non-compliance can be up to 6% of global annual revenue. For a company like Meta, that could be more than $7 billion. The Digital Markets Act additionally prevents large platforms from using data from minors for targeting advertising. But is this enough? The honest answer is no, it's not enough. These evil groups evolve faster than legislation. When you close one platform, they migrate to another. When you arrest one leader, another take their place. It's like fighting a hydra. You cut one head off and two more grow. Except this hydra operates in 47 countries at the same time and has military-grade encryption. But something is something, and continuous pressure is forcing changes. Slow, insufficient, but changes nonetheless. According to a 2024 report from the Brookings Institution, while legislative and enforcement efforts have increased significantly, the scale of the problem continues to outpace the response. The report estimates that for every perpetrator arrested, approximately 50 remain active. The battle is being fought on multiple fronts: technology, legislation, education, and enforcement. We are not losing, but we are not winning either. The warning signs. Now, let's get to the practical part. How you can tell if someone you know, especially a minor, is being recruited or victimized by one of these groups. Behavioral signs. Changes in sleep patterns. If your kid is suddenly up until 3 a.m. every night, that is not normal. This group often operate during nighttime when parents are asleep. According to a child psychologist at Johns Hopkins University, disrupted sleep patterns are one of the earliest indications of problematic online activity in teenagers. Extreme secrecy about online activities. All teenagers are somewhat secretive about their digital life. It's normal. But if they are literally close their laptop every time you enter the room or immediately switch screens, that's a red flag. Drastic personality changes. If your normally cheerful child suddenly becomes withdrawn, depressed, anxious, or aggressive, something is happening. It may not be these specific groups, but definitely deserves attention. A study from the American Psychological Association found that 60% of teens involved in harmful online groups show marked personality changes 1 to 3 months before active involvement. Excessive use of dark internet terminology. If they start using terms like based, red pill, black pill, or worse, reference to extremist ideologies, that is concerning. According to a 2024 study from Harvard Berkman Center for Internet and Society, 73% of adolescents recruited by online extremist groups showed notable changes in their vocabulary 2 to 3 months before becoming active involved. Possession of multiple accounts or online identities. If you discover your kid has 5 different Discord accounts, 3 Telegram accounts, and multiple profiles on platforms you don't even know about it, ask yourself, why do they need so many identities? Receipt of money or items without explanation. Some groups pay members for their services. If your child suddenly has money they can't explain or receive mysterious packages, investigate. Digital signs. Browser history constantly cleared. If browser history is always empty, if they use all the time incognito mode, they are hiding something. Use of VPNs or anonymity software. Not all VPN use is bad. Many use VPN for privacy, but in combination with other signs can be concerning. Multiple devices. If your kid has an official phone they show you and another old phone they use just for music, that second phone probably is not just for music. Participation in communities with strange names. If you see Discord servers names like 764, Cult, CVLT, Harm Nation, or a similar one, that's a giant red flag. Giant, with neon lights. Physical signs. Unexplained self-harm. Cuts, burns, bruises, they cannot always explain. Some groups force members to self-harm as proof of loyalty. According to data from the National Alliance on Mental Illness, there's been a 42% increase in reported self-harm among teenagers since 2020, with a significant portion linked to an online group influence. Loss of interest in activities they previously enjoyed. If your kid quit doing things like soccer, art, music, whatever, and only wants to be online, that is concerning. Deterioration in school performance. Going from A's and B's to D and F's without clear explanation can indicate they are dedicating time and mental energy to something else. What to do if you suspect something? Number 1, don't panic. I know it sounds contradictory after everything I discussed with you, but panicking and confronting aggressively can make your child shut down completely. Number 2, document what you observe. Without invading privacy extremely, take notes of the changes you observe. Date specific behaviors. Number 3, open conversation, not interrogation. Instead of, who are you talking on the internet? Try, I've noticed you've been quieter lately. Is there anything you want to tell me? According to family communication expert at the Child Mind Institute, the tone and approach of the initial conversation determines whether the child will open or shut down. Number 4, seek professional help. If you suspect something serious is happening, contact the FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center, ic3.gov, cybertipline.org, or 1-800-843-5678. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 988. Crisis Text Line. Text home to 741414. And the local FBI field office. Go to fbi.gov/contact-us. Number 5, don't try to be a digital detective. Don't infiltrate the groups. Don't try to catch the perpetrator yourself. Leave that to the professionals. I've seen cases where well-intentioned parents end up obstructing police investigation. Law enforcement has specialized tools, training, and legal authority. You don't. Let them do their job. Number 6, consider therapy. If your child has been victim or has been participated in these groups, they are going to need professional mental health help. The trauma is real. Prevention is 1,000 times more effective than intervention. And prevention starts with education and open communication from an early age, not when they are 15 and already over their heads, when they are 8 and just starting to use the internet. According to Common Sense Media, children receive their first smartphone at an average age of 10.3 years old, but only 35% of parents have the comprehensive conversation with them about online safety before handing over the device. It's like giving someone the car of a Ferrari before teaching them the traffic rules. And now we arrive to the session everybody was waiting for. Do it yourself. Here I'm going to give you concrete, actionable steps that you can implement today to protect yourselves and your family. Family digital audit. Gather the whole family, yes, including the teenagers who are going to protest. Tell them it's a family security audit and everyone is included, even the adults. Each family member make a list of all the apps and platforms they use. Don't judge, just list. For each platform, answer together. What privacy settings does it have? Who can contact you? Are you sharing your location? Do you have two-factor authentication enabled? Research each platform together. Search in Google app name plus safety settings. Implement privacy changes together. Everyone, adults too. Why it works? This is not I'm going to spy on you. It's we are all going to be safer. We are all going to be safer. When parents also participate and show vulnerability, the kids are more receptive. Digital Communication Pact. Sit down as a family and write an internet use contract, not imposed by parents, but negotiated. The contract should include: we don't use phones during meals. We have a disconnect time. Example, after 9 p.m. on school nights, nobody use phones, laptops, computers, or tablets. If we receive strange or threatening messages, we report them to the family. We check the privacy of our accounts every 3 months. Parents have the right to random check-ins of online activity. Minors promise not to share personal information with strangers. If something online makes you uncomfortable, you report it without fear of punishment. We don't use secret surveillance. We don't read private messages without valid reason. If we do a check-in, we will explain why. We will listen without judging first. Everyone sign it. Print 2 copies. Put one in the refrigerator. Every 6 months, review and update the contract. This works because teenagers respond better to agreements than to a dictate. And when they see the adults also have rules, it's more fair. The Digital Emergency Plan. As a family, write an action plan for different scenarios. Scenario A. I receive a threatening or extortion message. Do not respond to the attacker. Take a screenshot. Report to parents immediately. Report to the platform. If the threat is serious, contact the police or the FBI. Scenario B. I discover a friend is in a dangerous group. Talk to the friend privately without judging. If the friend won't listen, talk to a trusted adult. If there is immediately risk, contact authorities. Scenario C. I accidentally share personal information. Document what was shared and where. Change passwords immediately. Enable credit alerts if financial info was shared. Report the platform and authorities if necessary. Scenario D. Someone is asking me to do something that makes me very uncomfortable. Say no clearly. Take a screenshot. Block the person. Report to platform and parents. Don't feel guilty. You did nothing wrong. Now, save emergency numbers in everyone's phones. The FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center at ic3.gov. The Cyber Tip Line at 800-843-5678. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Dial 988. The Crisis Text Line. Text HOME to 741741. The Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, 1-800-656-4673. And your local FBI field office. Identify trusted adults outside the immediate family. Aunts, uncles, godparents, school counselors give explicit permission to children to go to these people if they feel uncomfortable talking to you. Research shows that children with multiple trusted adults to turn to are 3 times more likely to report problems earlier. If you do all these exercises, your kid and you will be safer. Well, dear cyber navigators, we reached the end of this particularly dark episode of Behind the Digital Curtain. I know this was very heavy, very, very, very heavy. If after listening to this you want to throw all your electronic devices into the Hudson River, I understand. But here is the thing, the internet is not bad. No more than a knife is bad. It can be used to cook delicious meals or to hurt someone. The tool is neutral. The use determines the impact. This dangerous group we discussed today, 764, Harm Nation, Cult, and all their horrible cousins, represent a tiny fraction of the internet, a fraction, but a fraction with disproportionate impact. According to consolidated statistics from various security agencies, approximately 0.0001% of users in the internet actively participate in these groups. That's 1 in every 100,000 people. But that 0.001 has victimized millions. It's like cancer. A small percentage of cell, enormous devastation. What is the solution? There is no magic solution. There is no fixed internet button. If there were, believe me, someone will have already pressed it. The solution is multifaceted. Education, regulation, technology, community, and individual responsibility. And yes, it's more work than just handing an iPad to an 8-year-old and saying, entertain yourself. It's harder than just letting algorithms raise your children. Requires effort, attention, time, but the alternative is allowing digital predators to hunt in lawless territory, victimizing the most vulnerable. My call to action for you. If you have children, talk to them this week. Not in a year, not when I have time, this week. If you are an educator, implement a digital literacy program in your school, even if it's just 1 hour a month. If you are a legislator, support online child protection legislation that has teeth. If you are a tech platform worker, pressure your companies within. You have power, use it. If you are just a simple concerned digital citizen, when you see something suspicious, report it. Don't assume someone else will. The internet is an incredible tool. It's giving us access to all human knowledge. It's connecting people across borders. It's democratized information. But like all powerful tools can be abused, our responsibility is to ensure that the next generation use this tool to build, not to destroy, to connect, not to victimize, to educate, not to radicalize. We cannot stop all predators, but we can make it much, much harder for them to operate. And we can ensure that when that happens, or when a child is in danger, they have someone to turn to. According to child safety expert, the single most protective factor for children online is having an adult they trust enough to tell them when something goes wrong. Be that adult. This has been Dr. Sergio Sanchez, Dr. Qubit, to remind you the internet never stops, the internet never sleeps, but you should, after you set up your 2-factor authentication and talk to your kids. Good night, cybernauts, and stay safe out there, or in there. You know, behind the digital curtain. See you next week with a much less depressing topic. We will probably talk about, I don't know, cat memes, the history of computers, the quantum computing, something light. In the meantime, do those exercises. Seriously, do then. Until next time, bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. If you enjoy it, please share with someone you want to protect and help navigate this technological world. And if you have questions, anecdotes, or stories you would like to share, write me at behindthedigitalcurtainpodcast@gmail.com. I'll be waiting for you next week for another episode of Behind the Digital Curtain, the place where technology is spoken in human language. See you later.